how did you guys manage to get better through the season to put yourself in a position to compete, to go to the finals? I mean, there's a lot that you guys have to deal with. What do you think you got better at through the year as a team?
Yeah, we never made excuses, like, first and foremost. We never used that as a crutch. Like, it's something you can't control and something every team goes through. Maybe not on the same level, but it's also just the cards we were dealt. Like, there's nothing else we could do besides go out there and, like, just compete. Still play the same brand of basketball. Thankfully, we have a deep roster full of talented guys, so, like, we could still get the job done to a certain degree without missing key pieces. Oh, yeah, my bad. But yeah, we were who we were. Like, regardless of guys being out, like, we were still a team full of competitors, guys that want to win basketball games at the highest level. And we did a share amount of that because of that. Joel.
You set the bar for what you want and value in this league pretty high. How do you measure a season in which you fall short of reaching the finals now?
It was a failure. Like, I failed at my goal. Like, I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve. But through my experiences, I learned the most about myself, and I make the greatest amount of increases I have in my career when I fail at my goal and don't get what I want. And I look at this no different. Like, I didn't get where I wanted to go this season. There's a reason for that. Now I have to look at that reason and try to make sure it never happens again.
Would you describe just the difficulties that they created for y'all defensively, and particularly with just the way they guarded you?
Yeah, they're obviously a really good defense. With a guy on their back line that's a little bit different from everyone else's. They funnel everything to him, and then he takes up a lot of space, which is pretty unique. A lot of teams can't really do that. Like, I just think above, it's a really good defense, and it's not impossible to score on, but I just think, like, it's very different, and it's very different from every other team in the league. So it's like it takes some getting used to, and it takes some adjusting to.
Hey, Shay, you were asked last night about any involvement you might have in off-season contract moves, that sort of thing. You said leaving that up to Sam entirely. That's not what we normally hear. We're always hear from star players. Why is that your mindset, and why are you maybe a little bit different in that thinking?
I don't have the time or energy to do Sam's job in my everyday life. Basketball takes up a lot. And then, I mean, you can't wear every hat in every relationship in life. Like, I can't go home and be the wife of the house and the kid of the house. Like, I just can't do that. I gotta wear my dad hat, and it's the same thing when I come to work. Like, I wear the Shea hat, and Sam wears the Sam hat, Mark wears the Mark hat, Chet wears the Chet hat, and we all do our part to make our family in the building whole and running on all cylinders, and that's just how we've operated, and that's how we'll continue to operate.
Does your offseason change this year compared to last year, winning the championship, coming up real short?
I have a few more weeks of time on my hands, but that's about it. Nothing else will really change. Like I said, regardless, I'll watch the games that I struggled in and why I struggled, and figure out ways to be better, just like I did last year.
Last night you were asked about the Spurs being a potential roadblock for you guys, just the team that you're going to have to face. I know earlier you were asked about what you need to work on in the offseason. Are you going to watch that series specifically of, like, what you need to work on for that team, or is it not that, or is it bigger picture than that?
Yeah, it's bigger picture. But, I mean, it's no secret that team had success guarding me. So, yeah, a lot of those games will be watched. to figure out how I can improve for sure.
It's unique in the NBA nowadays to a player and a coach be together as long as you and Mark have, and it's really kind of hard to get Mark to talk about himself and kind of his thoughts on how he coaches. Can you kind of go from your relationship with Mark and what does he do well as a coach?
At the core of all of it, he's just like a really good guy. And I think like when you can connect with somebody, it like makes everything else easier. Like it makes his job and my job easier, like to work with each other, just because like we have a deeper connection. Like our families know each other. Like we talk all the time. Like I also know like what he values in his life. He knows what I value in my life. Like he knows who I am essentially, and I know who he is. And I think it gives you a better outlook on the decisions he makes and the decisions I make. And I think he's done a really good job of just like, even though he's this young, high, super achieving head coach in the NBA, he's like just been a really good like human being for the group of guys to follow. And then I think as a coach, like it's a little bit like my personal group. I think like coach really just cares about competing in basketball and winning. And that's all he cares about. Like he actually does not care about how people see him, his accolades, what he achieves besides winning. And I think that's like his superpower. Like all the fluff is cut out. Everything that's unnecessary is cut out. It's almost as like he has no like personal ambition. Like all he wants is for this group to win. And like when you're coached by a guy like that, you have no choice but to trust him and what he thinks is right, just because like his intentions are solely for everyone else and not his. And then that's something that like it's rare to come across in life, not even just in basketball. Like for a coworker to only care about everyone else besides, like imagine if you cared about everyone else besides yourself in this room. You know what I mean? Like life doesn't work like that. So he's a special guy. Like he's a special guy above a special coach, and like being able to play for a guy like that, it's I'm lucky. A lot of players get to play for guys like that.
Chet are kind of viewed as, number 2 and 3 in the pecking order. The kind of two-part question: how detrimental was it this season to just not have Jalen as much as you didn't? And then with Chet, he had a kind of down statistical series. How much more, particularly on the offensive end, do you feel like y'all might need from him moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not having Dub for the whole year basically, sucked. Like, he's just such like a unicorn out there. Like, he's a 20-point per game scorer, guards 1 through 5. Like last season he got All-NBA for offense, All-NBA for defense, and was an All-Star all in the same season. Like at maybe 24 years old. So like, losing a guy like that just hurts. Like, he's just uber talented, and like just having that Swiss Army knife on the court 24/7 is just a luxury. And we just didn't have that luxury this year. And then sometimes it just goes like that. And Chet, like, we need Chet. Like, we need Chet Holmgren. Like, before Chet was here, we weren't who we are today. We didn't have the success we had today. Like, when he's the best version of himself, we're the best version of ourselves, and it's no secret. And yeah, we need Chet. Like, he's another guy that got offense, defense, and All-Star in 1 year at a super young age. So like, guys like that, you need on your team. Both those guys are in the same caliber. Like, we need them to be the best version of themselves for us to be the best version of ourselves. And I have full faith that they will be that. Like, both those guys like work way too hard and love the game way too much for that not to be the case. And I don't ever for a second think that they won't be that. But yeah, those guys are, like you said, 2 and 3 in our pecking order, but they're a big part of the success we've had and I've had as a player.
This will be the last one for Shaq.
Chet was kind of saying last night some of the same things you were saying, that Spurs just posed such a different challenge that it was maybe a little harder to react in the course of a series. To your point, you guys need Chet, but you probably, my word, not yours, you need the version of Chet that you saw most of the year, not necessarily in the series. Do you have conversations with him about that, about the way the series forced him to react and sort of how he needs to approach the offseason so that doesn't happen again?
No, I haven't talked to Chet about that. I won't. I also don't feel like I need to. Like, I didn't perform my greatest this series either, and Chet won't come to me with a development plan for the summer. You know what I mean? Like Chet knows how much I care about this game and want to be the best version of myself every night out there on the floor. And I know how much Chet loves this game and wants to be the best version of himself out there every night on the floor. And sometimes it doesn't go that way. Like, you're just not the best version of yourself for whatever reason it is. And all you can do is, like, use that experience to get better, which is what I've done in my career, which is what Chet's done in his career, and which I have no doubt he'll continue to do. And then I always say it's like the version of Chet that we have today is the worst version of Chet we'll ever have. And I've said that literally every time I talk about Chet. So, like, he's going to get better at basketball, and he's just going to be a better player because of the makeup he is, the talent he has. And I don't need to umbrella Chet. He'll figure it out.